Similar to the designs in Series 3 to 5 of Postman Pat. In Series 3 to 5 of Postman Pat. In Series 3 to 5 of Postman Pat. Now, on this channel, I talk about another show about a person who helps out. Hello everyone, so on this channel we've talked about Welsh firemen and a talking blue train, so may as well start off a trilogy, well, talking about you know who. So, Postman Pat. It's a good show, has its unique charm, and is certainly a good one to watch, and is certainly up there with Fireman Sam and Thomas the Tank Engine. It has a similar sitcom vibe to Fireman Sam, but it's more of a slice of life type of show, and is similar to something like Last of the Summer Wine. I'm not a big die-hard fan of the show, like with something like Fireman Sam or Thomas, but I do love it, and it is fun to watch the first 2 seasons and 4 specials. So yeah, let's get to the chase. Series 3 to 5. It's an interesting experience for me. This was the era I grew up with. I did watch bits of the original here and there, but it was mostly this era or SDS. I enjoyed it and didn't really watch it again when I grew up. I've now seen that people don't really like Series 3 to 5, so rewatching it I would think I would dislike it a bit. But after rewatching it, I really still like it. Don't get me wrong, it's not amazing, but there's something to it, and I should go through my thoughts on Series 3 to 5 Postman Pat and see what I like about it. Okay everyone, let's truly see if Postman Pat Series 3 to 5 is good or not. So, let's just address the elephant in the room. The designs are clean as heck. They look almost identical to the original ones, with a few tweaks here and there. But yeah, they kept the original design of the OG, thank God. Whoever made this decision, thank you. But anyway, they only slightly designed the characters differently, like different clothes and added eyebrows on some characters. Plus, I'd say some of the characters feel a bit more expressive than they did in the original 2 seasons. It honestly does feel like that these are the same characters from the original series. And apart from that, the voice actors Ken Barry and Carol Boyd returned and even improved slightly in some ways. The new voice actors, I don't remember their names, sorry, did good as well, and the voices fit the characters very well. Also, I did enjoy Simon Woodgate's music. It's not amazing and can get a bit tiresome, and Brian Daly's music has a bit more charm to it, but I like the more orchestral tone of it. And the theme remakes is spot on. The Banes even got an introduction, and I think they were a nice add to the cast. Plus, I like how they sometimes experimented with new pairings and such. Plus, I'd say one of my favourite episodes of this era was Postman Pat and the Spring Dance. My God, it's a good episode. I like how it's centred on Pat and Sarah. Like, the children take a bit of a step back in this episode, and we fairly get a good episode. The episode is about Pat not being a good dancer, and doesn't want to dance with Sarah due to this, and the spring dance is coming up, which makes Sarah a bit sad. However, they hear and see people practicing dancing, and both get sad. Pat doesn't want to let Sarah down, so he practices, and they both dance at the spring dance. My God, what a nice episode. I can see this definitely being part of the OG, definitely. With a few tweaks and, you know. Also, I think the specials are pretty good. I will explain Postman Pat's Magic Christmas and the Mixed Feelings bit, but I pleasantly enjoyed them. I'm thankful that the Banes were given an actual introduction unlike a certain other show. Plus, Pat cheering up Bill and offering to do a clown act with him was quite wholesome and heartfelt.
What? Oh.
Sorry, Bill, but you do make me laugh.
It's all anyone does. Laugh at me. I thought it'd be easy. I'm the oldest, and I'm supposed to be able to do things.
You can do things.
No, I can't. every time I try to do something, I just make everyone laugh. Like you did.
It's good to make people laugh.
Not all the time. No one likes people laughing at them all the time.
Listen, who are your favourite people in the circus, Bill?
Easy. The clowns. But what's that got to do with it?
They like making people laugh, don't they?
Well, yeah.
And you're good at making people laugh, aren't you?
Are you saying I could be a clown?
Why not?
Yeah, but I can't do it on my own.
We could do it together. I've always fancied being a clown.
Would you? Cool. Thanks, Pat.
Plus, it was interesting to see something about Pat's family life by introducing Matt. He was an interesting character and the flashback was actually intriguing, but a bit weird how Matt as a child was basically just Julian's model, retooled. So yeah, that's the good stuff about series 3 to 5. Now let's get on to the mixed things. Alrighty then, let's go.
One time is funny, 2 times it's fucking annoying, no?
Okay, let's get to things I'm mixed about. I think I only have a few things I'm mixed about, so let's get to them. So you probably know about this if you watch the series, and it's that the children get a lot of screen time in this era. I have mixed feelings on this, because yeah, it's quite annoying, and it's useless because the show is called Postman Pat, and not the Greendale Children or anything, but I can sort of understand what they were trying to do, as it seemed they were trying to give him unique character traits, as they were just people Pat met on his postal journeys in the original, and the adults did have character traits that made them stood out as well. So I can sort of pass that a little bit, and it was handled decently in my opinion, and it was sort of interesting at least. And there's the animation. It is impressive, as like any other Cosgrove horror in production, but it's quite fast-paced, which is quite odd in Postman Pat. Postman Pat's Magical Christmas was a good special. However, it was weird that Father Christmas is canon, even though Postman Pat is supposed to be one of those shows where it's real and that, but oh well. Now, let's get to stuff I don't particularly like. It might be nitpicks or genuine cons, so let's get to them. Now, this won't be as raged as the Fireman Sam one, but here goes. The one thing I didn't really like about this era is the absence of a few characters. Sadly, Peter Fogg, Sam Waldron, Miss Hubbard, Granny Dryden, Major Forbes and George Lancaster were absent from this season's. They just vanished out of thin air with no explanation, and they were never mentioned by the villagers of Greendale ever again. I know some of them made a cameo in one scene in Postman Pat and the Green Rabbit, but it felt like they needed puppets to place in that scene, so, you know. Also, a bit of the atmosphere of Sarah feels slightly off. I don't know, it doesn't really have that comfy feel the first 2 seasons and specials have. Also, why did they decide to turn the post bus into a school bus? Like, why not just get a bus that's identical and there you go? So we can have a post bus operating as well, and also the school bus is a thing as well. So yeah, that was my negatives of the era. Not as big as Series 5 and Fireman Sam's, but oh well. Now let's round off my thoughts in the conclusion. What's my overall thoughts on this era? Well, I honestly had more joy watching Series 3 to 5 of Postman Pat over Series 5 of Fireman Sam. Look, I understand why people don't like these 3 seasons, the absence of the original characters, the faster paced animations, etc. However, Series 5 of Fireman Sam had similar problems, and that made it less enjoyable to watch for me. The art design was changed drastically, and that made the characters look off. Norman caused nearly every accident and barely any stories talking about other characters, and some characters were either out of character or boring. Series 3 to 5 of Postman Pat, on the other hand, kept the original art style of the original design, making it more familiar to get into the series. The original voice actors returned and even improved in some cases. It had 4 specials and 3 seasons, gave us time to get used to it, and not just 1 season of the show. Characters who didn't have that much interesting character traits were at least tried to be expanded upon, and the characters and elements that were introduced were given a proper introduction, and not just spawning there with no mention and just expected us to think these elements were since the humble beginning. This era, in a word, is fascinating. This era is definitely nowhere near as good as the original, but it felt like there were more elements present to make it okay-ish, and make it a goodish continuation. I'm not saying Series 5 of Fireman Sam is a bad continuation. It was pretty good for what it was, and is enjoyable to an extent. However, Series 3 to 5 of Postman Pat just felt more enjoyable to me. I don't know. Maybe it's the nostalgia from this era preventing me from hating it. It was pretty good. However, Series 1 and 2 and the 4 specials will always be the best era of the show, no doubt. So, here was my thoughts on Series 3 to 5. Nothing special, but I hope you enjoyed it. It was actually quite fun doing this video. Before I finish, here was something I would like to say. I have thought up of an idea for an SDS rewrite. It is set after the original and is about the children characters growing up and how they handle jobs, but that might be another video for another day. Goodbye.